Are you pursuing your passion? You know, that thing in a world of many things that gives you butterflies in your stomach and that you're really, really good at? Passion, when harmonious, not obsessive, can give you incredible fulfillment and a sense of self. But asking yourself what you're passionate about, especially in high school, is an incredibly difficult question. There's duties you serve, and then there's passions you follow. You aren't typically reliant on your passion to make money. That's more on the realm of duty or responsibility, bills and whatnot. And look, there's nothing wrong in putting in hard work towards an activity that you aren't passionate about. I wasn't passionate about O level or A level biology, but the legwork opened a lot of doors for me. I wasn't passionate about statistics until I learned of its applications in machine learning. Which brings me to the first prerequisite for culturing a passion. You need to know of that thing that you could potentially be passionate about. And quite frankly, the world of things that you can do is pretty friggin' big. And there's so much that you could be doing and learning about. All right. So declaring you're passionate about something and refusing to pursue anything else is you basically telling yourself, I've seen all that there is to see, and I've done all that there is to be done in order for me to be able to confidently settle in on this one thing that I'm passionate about. Look, being passionate about something is great. It is true. When you do something you love, you recharge emotionally and psychologically, and it doesn't feel like work. So here are 5 different ways you can start to find things that you're passionate about doing. Number 1, find a mission, not a passion. You're passionate about an activity, which is a tool, but mission comes from a cause. And it is much easier to resonate with a cause rather than an activity. For example, your mission could be making microcontrollers more accessible to everyone to understand and use. What are your tools to do that? Maybe you start a blog and discover that writing is something you enjoy doing. Maybe you build a web app and discover that app building is something you enjoy along the way. Maybe you start a club and discover that leadership is something you can inculcate in yourself. All these tools that you discover on the way to serving a mission can turn out to be activities you're passionate about. Number 2, go out and meet people. This is going to sound cliche, but every person you meet is a world waiting to unravel to you, bringing in new activities, interests, and passions. See why someone is so passionate about cars. See why somebody else enjoys debating so much. See why your friend is so passionate and so committed to basketball. Understand where they're coming from. One of the main reasons I was able to transition into tech, coming from a different engineering background, is because I had a lot of friends in tech who were great mentors and benefactors. Also, holding yourself accountable when you have a partner in crime is all the more motivating. I know this can be hard if you're introverted, but think about it like this. Every opportunity to meet somebody new is you being able to experiment how to meet somebody new better and more effectively. Because that is a skill you're going to need. Number 3, read broadly. Remember, the goal is to build an awareness of things so that you can sniff out what it is that you're passionate about. So get comfortable reading broadly and then setting aside a little bit of time to dig deeper into things that pique your interest. Bring up what you've read about with your peers. Try to explain it to them. See if you really understand what it is you read about. And also use it as an opportunity to understand gaps in your knowledge, stuff that you should be reading deeper about. Number 4, count your hours. They say you need to put in 10,000 hours in order to attain mastery in anything. This is super arbitrary, but the key takeaway here is nothing comes for free. The currency for trade in any skill is time. And the difference between something you're good at versus something you're not is whether or not you enjoy putting those hours in versus you don't. But you won't know until you start putting those hours in. So get out there and get to work. Budget hours for something you want to get good at every week and keep yourself accountable to hitting those hours. Number 5, breathe. It is okay if there's nothing that you found that you're passionate about. Telling someone to do things that they're passionate about or to follow their passion can sometimes be problematic advice.
People who tell you follow your passion at the young age, like they ignore so many building blocks that you need to have checked before you can start following your passion. So what I would say is follow stability first. And then once you've achieved stability, then follow your passion.
This quote that I always see floating around and throughout my young adulthood and up till now is this quote that was just like, and I'm paraphrasing, but I think it goes, love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life. And especially as a kid, you know, you see that and you're like, oh, like, yeah, I really want to find something that I love doing. And as a 17-year-old, like applying for college, you have the sense of, I have to find what I love. And then as a 22-year-old leaving college, you're like, okay, I have to work in a job I love. And there's this huge pressure to like find what you love, so that, because it feels like everybody else is doing their passion and you're not. I think that that work has a place in your life, and then love, doing things you love, has a place in your life, and sometimes there's an overlap. Trying to prioritize, trying to create those compartments of like work and then life, and then remembering like in the long term, life is what you're going to remember.
At the end of the day, life isn't a race. Everybody goes through different milestones. At the end of the day, everyone's trying to find happiness and fulfillment. And believe it or not, the key to those things are in the simplest of things in life, like love, friends, and family. So don't worry if you haven't found your passion. Keep working, keep trying new things, and trust the process.